is Late Edition News at 10 with Ann Gownley. Sports with Beth Mensinger. And meteorologist Joe Garbacik.
Today is Good Friday, and across the world, many are taking part in church services and processions, and it's our top story tonight. Good evening. This is WYLN's Late Edition, Greater Hazleton's only local news broadcast for Friday, April 18th, 2014. I'm Ann Gownley. Well, today, Christians worldwide celebrated Good Friday. This is the day they believe Christ died for them. Our Gary Perna tells us how those in Mahanoy City mourn the life of Jesus Christ.
The Mahanoy Area Ministerium Association held its annual Good Friday services today at St. Paul's United Church of Christ. Pastors from the First Presbyterian, Congregational, Methodist, Christ Lutheran, and St. Paul's took part in reading the last 7 words. Dr. Reverend John Reed explains about those words.
Well, I think each of the words speaks for themselves as we are looking at Jesus on the cross and the sacrifice that he's made for everyone. It is a most holy time for most people in most any Christian churches. And the words in themselves are those that Jesus uttered at the last moments of his sacrifice for every one of us.
Father, forgive them. You shall be with me in paradise. Behold your mother, behold your son. Why have you forsaken me? I thirst. Into your hands I commit my spirit. It is finished. Those are the words Dr. Reverend Reed spoke of. Good Friday is the day that Christians believe that Jesus was crucified. The congregation was asked to walk into the church silently and not to speak because this is a solemn event in the life of Christ. Ruth Balliet, who is the choir director for St. Paul's, told us the event has been going on for years.
It's been from 12 noon till 3 o'clock every year. We've been doing it this way with the singing of the 7 last words since 1976 when I became choir director. Some people come in as soloists from other churches. I had 4 today, but mainly it's the members of my choir. It's a community service. We've been doing it since as long as I can remember.
Dr. Reverend Reed said, what pastors and churches are left in Mahanoy City take part in this day?
We have some very well-spoken ministers, to say the least. The Presbyterian Church is the oldest church in this town. Their minister is here, and he spoke about one of the words. We have the Congregational Church, Lutheran Church. All of our churches, though, are struggling because of the lower population of the entire town. But we're able to keep going.
Lois Morgan has been taking part in this service all of her life.
We've had these programs from as long as I can remember. I know over 60-some years I've been coming to these things when the congregation that came was far greater than was here today. We have all these freedoms in this land of ours, and we don't take the freedom to worship God as we should for all that he has given to us. I wish we would practice that, and I think our country might turn around and be a better place to live.
When parishioners left the church, they were asked to do so quietly as they mourn for Jesus' life. Balliet told us the Easter festivities will continue this weekend with an Easter egg hunt for the kids and a breakfast.
I should say we're starting with Saturday, and we're having an Easter egg hunt for anybody who would like to come in the town. Then on Sunday morning we will have an Easter breakfast, and then we will have communion. The service will start out with organ prelude, bell choir prelude. We'll sound the trumpets and welcome in Easter morning.
In Mahanoy City for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
More than 1,000 people walked throughout the streets of Hazleton today. They came to recreate and remember the events that led to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. It is a Good Friday tradition that draws a huge crowd throughout the streets of Hazleton as parishioners from Holy Annunciation Parish at St. Gabriel's Church in Hazleton recreate in person the Stations of the Cross. The Reverend Gregory Finn is the pastor of Holy Annunciation Parish. He said that last year more than 1,000 people participated in the event that gets bigger and more realistic each year.
Well, this procession really has grown with the presence of the Hispanic community here in Hazleton. Really, it goes back 10, 12 years at least, years even before my presence here. I've only been here for 5 years. And they told me that they've been doing this procession for a number of years beforehand. It's a procession that reenacts the Stations of the Cross as we all traditionally know them, but actually doing it kind of like in live presentation, which is a custom done in many parts of the world, particularly from those countries where many of our parishioners come from, who are from Spanish-speaking places.
Stands or small altars are set up along the procession route to commemorate each of the 14 Stations of the Cross, the events leading up to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Dr. Agapito Lopez portrayed the high priest Caiaphas in today's reenactment.
This brings close to the heart of people about the sacrifice that Christ did for his people so that they will be saved. And this is a very pictorial, real way to get to the people in town.
Father Finn says parishioners who take part in this event come from several different ethnic backgrounds, and it is wonderful to see the congregation come together to show the people of Hazleton what life was like in the days of the crucifixion.
This is really just a demonstration of all the people here in the parish and really the deep spirituality that we found here in Hazleton. I'm an oblate of St. Joseph, my religious order, and that's one of the things that we find most beautiful, we try to cultivate, and we're very glad to promote here in Hazleton.
Rafael Perez has been participating for the last 5 years and adds that it is an honor to do so.
This is a way to evangelize people, being an active Catholic, our faith should be spread outside of the church walls, to everybody, like Pope Francis says, go out into the world. We're doing the same in our own way. We do this every year, and it's an honor to represent the Passion of Christ, and we would like everybody to participate.
Following today's procession, which lasted nearly 3 hours, parishioners went back to the church for Good Friday services. The Lenten season culminates on Easter Sunday, the day Christians believe Jesus rose from the dead. Well, it's a tradition for 2 local businesses to close for 3 hours each Good Friday for worship. Tyrone's Market has been closing down on Good Friday since opening in 1941 from noon until 3 p.m. Employee Bina Tyrone says it gives employees and customers the chance to go to church and pray during this holy day.
People are very understanding. We have great customers. We have newcomers and the oldcomers, and they do understand that we close between 12 and 3. And they're good with that because a lot of them probably go to church also. So it's very convenient for them, not only us.
Tyrone says they hope to continue this tradition for as long as possible. At Washco's Pharmacy on North Wyoming Street, they also have made it a tradition to shut down from noon until 3.
It's been for 3 generations, the family. It's our religious tradition that from 12 to 3 we close so we can go to church to worship. The Lord made a sacrifice for us, and to close from 12 to 3 at these special hours is very important to us, and to leave anybody who we employ have time to worship.
Washco says customers over the years have been supportive of this tradition.
No, actually, we've gotten a lot of positive. They're surprised that some places still do it. We just make arrangements with our delivery men so that they can deliver early or late. And we come back from 3 to 6, so that we're still here for the patients. But we've all gotten all positive.
Washco's also says they plan on continuing this tradition for years to come. The last part of the Broad Street Corridor project will be completed this fall. The beginning of the end of the project is set for April 28th if Mother Nature cooperates. Crews will begin preparing the roadway for the final layer of asphalt starting in West Hazelton. Motorists can expect single-lane traffic and delays.
There now is, by the end of this month, they will begin going back out and doing the paving again. That will take about 5 or 6 weeks, and so we expect to have that done by the end of May, beginning of June. And then another 5 to 6 weeks after that, so the middle of the summer, the entire project will be done.
May says once the paving is completed, crews will paint the lines on the road and time all of the street lights. All work should be completed by this July. Working hours are scheduled for 6:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and possibly Saturdays. A battle over parking in the city of Hazelton between the mayor and a councilman. Councilman Jeff Cassett is proposing an ordinance at Tuesday night's meeting that gives business owners the chance to pay $125 to have a customer parking, patient loading and unloading, loading zone and other signs installed at their place of business. This ordinance is almost identical to an ordinance that Mayor Joe Yannuzzi vetoed a few years ago. Yannuzzi believes that the annual fees are too excessive and would negatively impact businesses. The ordinance says business owners that apply for a sign permit with code enforcement and pay $25 application fee, another $80 for city crews to install a sign, and an annual sign fee of $125. Council will review this ordinance on the first reading when it meets at 7 p.m. Tuesday at Hazelton City Hall. An inmate at the State Correctional Institution at Dallas slashed a correctional officer in the face last night. State police say Joel Perez slashed Francis Petrosky's face just before 8 p.m. on Thursday. SCI Dallas spokeswoman Robin Lucas said that while Perez was exiting his housing unit, he used a homemade weapon to stab Petrosky while he was sitting behind a desk. Petrosky and another officer then restrained Perez. The prison's infirmary is located across from where the incident occurred, and Petrosky walked himself to be treated. Local medical emergency crews then transported him to Geisinger Wyoming Valley Medical Center. Superintendent Larry Mahaly said, quote, "The entire incident from start to finish lasted only a few minutes. All correctional officers at the prison are unarmed. The prison remained on lockdown and will remain as such until further notice. Inmate programs and visits were also canceled. State police are investigating along with the prison security staff and the Department of Corrections Security Division. An 8-year-old at Lee Park Elementary School in Hanover Township punctured his arm twice with a hypodermic needle Wednesday. It happened inside the boy's lavatory around 11 a.m. when another boy ran out and told his teacher what he saw. According to Superintendent Andrew Kuhl, the student got the needle from another 8-year-old on the bus headed to school. 911 was called and the boy was taken to Wilkes-Barre General Hospital where he was treated and released. The needle which was used was clean and unused. Police and school administrators say the boy who provided the needle obtained it from his home. His father uses the needles for insulin injections. Both boys have been suspended from school, and when they return, they will receive counseling. Nearly 200 packets of heroin, a loaded handgun with an altered serial number, and a loaded rifle were seized by Wilkes-Barre City Police Anti-Crime Unit along with the State Police Vice and Narcotics Unit. 23-year-old Marissa Ramos, 23-year-old George S.A. Mojico, and 19-year-old Brian Mojica, all from the Philadelphia area, were arrested in a buy-bust operation on Scott Street Thursday. The rifle that was found was reported stolen to the state police at Chickasha. The heroin was found in Ramos's purse. According to police, all three suspects are known drug dealers on Cary Avenue. Ramos and George Monaco were charged with 2 counts of possession with intent to deliver, 1 count of firearms not to be carried without a license, and related counts. Brian Mojico was charged with criminal conspiracy. A 21-year-old male from Wilkes-Barre has been charged with drug charges stemming from an incident on Thursday. During an investigation by City Police Anti-Crime Unit and the Pennsylvania State Police Troop P Vice Unit, 21-year-old Jimmy Bell was arrested during the buy and bust operation. Bell was charged with delivery and sale of crack cocaine. Convicted child molester Jose Ramos's motion to overturn his conviction has been denied by Luzerne County Judge David Lupus. 70-year-old Ramos was convicted for failing to register an address under Megan's Law. Ramos was convicted in January. According to investigators, Ramos provided false information after prison officials asked him in October of 2012 where he planned to live when his sentence was to end in November of that year. Ramos wanted his conviction overturned because the state law in effect at the time was ruled unconstitutional under a state Supreme Court ruling which took effect this year. Ramos could face 5 to 10 years behind bars. He is scheduled to be sentenced on April 24th at 1 p.m.